Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talking About Balls. I am Justin George, joined as always by Kyle Price. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you wore your Sunday best because it is the 2026 Tabbies. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so excited to be here in the lovely, lovely city of Cleveland here. And we are coming to you live with the Tabbies. BS is going to be very short today because, again, we have a loaded show full of normal shit, sports talk, plus Tabbies. Plus, we're ending the show around 8:30. So, chef's kiss. Let's get right into it, shall we? We're gonna. You guys know how we roll. We're gonna randomly be doing the awards throughout the night. Random categories, all decided by us. Some of the same, some different. And you guys at home, I hope you guys let us know in the comments what some of your favorite things of 2025 were. With that being said, let's do the first one, just because fuck it. Let's get right into it. A little curveball for George. Hope he's on his A game today. And he told me we are starting with favorite stand-up. Did I read that right? I got to go back to George's list.
Yep.
Yes, favorite stand-up. So for me personally, I watched a ton of stand-up this year, and I don't want to be rude, so I didn't do a 5 list because there were not 5 ones that I watched that I enjoyed. So the only one that I enjoyed, well, 2 for that matter, was a 2-part special from Big Jay Oakerson, free on YouTube. Check it out today. First one was called Them. Second one was called They. Get it? Them, they, them. He did 2 different shows. They are both just crowd work in Denver, Colorado. Hilarious. Big Jay Oakerson, huge fan of his. I actually just got an email yesterday from Pickwick and Frolic. He will be in Cleveland in October, and I don't remember when tickets go on sale, but I gotta look ahead on the calendar and try to snatch a babysitter. That's the toughest part about having a 2-year-old is I used to just be able to go, oh my God, my favorite band or comedian is coming to town. Let's go. Now I have to go, ooh, I got to really think ahead. So would love to see him. I think it's the 1st through the 3rd of October. He'll be in Cleveland. So best special of 2005 for me, Big Jay Oakerson. Go check him out on YouTube if you have not yet. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to laugh.
It's amazing. I think I'm up next. I've got the worst TV show. So I'm going to list. I got 3 that I picked that are worse, and then I'll announce my winner. So the three that are on. There's my dogs. They agree. The Paper is up there with one of the worst of the year. I'm a huge fan of The Office. This was kind of like the follow-up continuance of The Office. The Paper, not really good. The Pulse, which came out on Netflix, I gave it a watch. I just couldn't get through 2 episodes. I'm like, it's trash. And then Suits LA. I'm a huge Suits fan, like the original Suits. Great show. Not great at all. I couldn't even get through the entire first season. But my winner, hands down, for the worst TV show for last year was The Witcher Season 4. And because they switched main characters, and I just could not watch it without looking at that face going, where is Henry Cavill at? It was not good. Storyline was okay, just I couldn't get past him. So, worst TV show of the year for me.
So Witcher is your favorite or your winner. I actually, now that I think about it, I didn't even know there were 4 seasons out. I think I stopped watching after the first season because I kind of forgot about it. So good to know that I at least...
Pretty good. Season 4, not there.
Good to know I have 2 more seasons to get through before I can officially stop. So that's nice. But yeah, really quickly, we'll get back to BS really quick. We have been off for 2 weeks because we took last week off just because give us a little break. Things going on. And... we figured it was kind of a slow sports week. The NBA trade deadline was happening the day after the show. On top of that, the Pro Bowl was the only real sporting event happening. So I was like, let's take a week off. So in those 2 weeks, not a whole lot for my end. We had a snowstorm one weekend. And then we had just a boring, it's been really fucking cold here in Northeast Ohio. So we were just looking for things to do. Took Teddy to the library in the Brooklyn library. We took her there. They have like a jungle gym area with slides and stuff one of the weekends. So we took her there. She had a blast. We went grocery shopping over this weekend. We went out for Khan's birthday, which is something when you turn 40. He's 41 now, but something about turning 40 and having children, I think, is the main thing. Having kids makes you that's when you're done. Life is done. The evening started at 8:00 at Town Hall on Saturday night. Again, freezing fucking cold, but we're at Town Hall down in Ohio City. And we get there pretty much 8:05. We're not that late. And we walk in and we're like, okay, where is everybody? They're not there yet. There were no reservations or anything like that. So Town Hall, Saturday night, freezing cold, nowhere to go. Then finally, people start showing up. We find a spot to chill, and I respect the hell out of Khan for this. He looks at me and he goes, "What time's the Cavs game start?" And I was like 10, 10:30, something like that. And he goes, "I'm not gonna lie, I hope I'm at home watching that game on my couch." And I said, "That's not a bad plan." So sure enough, right around 10 o'clock, we're there drinking, having fun. Right at 10 o'clock, he starts shaking hands and he's like, "All right, I'll see everybody later. Thanks for coming out." And he went home to watch the Cavs game. So that's what happens when you're getting old and you're 41 and you got a newborn and a toddler running around at home. But then on Sunday, we had the Super Bowl. I went, I had the in-laws come over, Mike and Terry. Shout out to my mother and father-in-law. They came over to watch the game, and it was a boring game. I kind of figured that going into it. It was not really hyped up. Seattle's not a household team, if you will. Sam Darnold at quarterback. There's no stars on that team. Same thing with the Patriots. Patriots, of course, are still only known for Tom Brady. So you have Drake May in year 2. Boring. Knew it was going to be boring. Sure shit, the game was boring. I turned it off right at the end when I knew it was over. The commercials weren't great, so I just gave up on it. I mean, there were maybe a couple of funny commercials. I think I would go with the Uber Eats commercial as my favorite, with the Pro Football Hall of Fame where they're like, "It's a juicer" with Matthew McConaughey. I thought that was pretty funny. I wanted to like the Dunkin' commercial because of George Costanza, but that de-aging AI shit was just so bad I couldn't get past it, so it ended up making me hate that commercial. And then obviously there was the controversial halftime show with Bad Bunny. I didn't understand a bit of it. For me personally, it just made me feel like I was back in Punta Cana, and that was kind of fun, thinking of warm weather and cold drinks. I don't know. He puts on a decent show. Again, didn't understand a word of it, but at the same time, I don't like any of the bands that they pick or the musical acts they pick. Even last year with Kendrick Lamar, I don't listen to Kendrick Lamar music. I only knew the one song because of the Drake pedophile thing was in the news. Other than that, I couldn't really understand him even last year. So I've basically gone back-to-back Super Bowls where I didn't understand any of the songs. But overall, I thought, again, for what it was, I know what the NFL's doing. They're trying to just grow their fan base, and they succeeded. They had a huge following and viewing for the halftime show. And, they're damn near trying to play a game in every country. So that's what they do. They're going for it. They decided to throw a curveball, and it worked out for views-wise. But, of course, most Americans that don't speak Spanish are like, well, didn't really understand it, so it's hard to get into the vibe. So again, for me, it was just the music. I thought it was fine. Again, I don't care about any of the musical acts anyway. So whether it was Bad Bunny or Maroon 5 or fucking J Lo or I don't know Kendrick Lamar, people like that. Like I don't listen to them anyway, so I don't care. But overall, that's been my last couple of weeks, and of course, I had my audit that I talked about 2 weeks ago. It was yesterday, and happy to report passed with flying colors. She said it was perfect. She found no nonconformances, and she said that my internal audits are some of the most thorough that she's ever seen, and we passed with flying colors. So shout out to me. As stressed as I get every fucking year for my audits, I do very well, but for a good month or two leading up to them, I am just a stressed motherfucker, and it shows. Tara even notices like my behavior changes. I don't like myself when it's audit season.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you.
Give it up.
Cheers. Give it up for me. Yeah. I'll go. I got nothing crazy. Obviously, it's work. I mean, the snowstorm kind of put a damper in some travel plans. We kind of just cocooned ourselves into the house during that snowstorm that rolled through. Didn't do much of anything. I think I was out snow blowing like 3 or 4 times that day. I think my only entertainment was watching the dogs running around in the backyard. But fast forward to last weekend, we went over to the in-laws' house and watched the Super Bowl. And a halftime show, whatever. I mean, I just don't like Bad Bunny. Like, I don't like the music, so it wasn't really doing it for me. I could give shit about politics here or there. I mean, I flipped over to the other halftime show that was going on that supposedly, even though it wasn't live, and I watched it. I mean, cool, good music, whatever. The thing for me, though, is made me laugh is like I'd have to find it. And there's a person on TikTok that went through the entire halftime show and Englished, like basically.
Was he sitting in his car?
What's that?
Was he sitting in his car when he filmed the video?
No, this was a girl who was doing it.
I saw a guy who did that video for the Bad Bunny translation. I didn't watch it, but I
saw the song in English. I'm like, okay, I can see why we didn't do that in English then, because the lyrics are not great. But No, I mean, I think my favorite commercial by far was the Dunkin'. I know the de-aging thing kind of threw it off, but I thought that was kind of cool. And then the Budweiser one with the baby eagle and the horse.
That one was cool.
That was really cool. Like the scene jumping over and like the eagle spreads its wings and it flies away. I thought that was pretty cool too. But no, overall, not an exciting game. Tale of two halves, right? Boring defensive first half, and then the second half they basically just broke loose, and then you got some action going. But I think we all kind of assumed that Seattle was going to win that game. So shout out to Seattle, Sam Darnold.
I put some coin down on the Seahawks because I was pretty confident they were going to come away with that W. So I was happy with that. I didn't make too many bets because I didn't know what kind of a game to expect. So I just put money only on the money line for Seattle, and boom,
paid off.
It's a winner.
Yeah, not much going on in my life, man. Just work, and that's pretty much it. So here we are.
Absolutely. All right. Next up, let's do an award, shall we? Let's do Justin's favorite horror movie of 2025. And the nominees are Heretic, Bring Her Back, Conjuring, Last Rites, Clown in a Cornfield, and Marrowbone. And the winner is Heretic with what the hell's his name? Everybody knows him. Hugh Grant. That's it. Hugh Grant. I think I talked about this movie. This might have been one of my tips last year after I watched it. Long story short, it's about these two girls who are, I believe, they're Mormons or something. They're the religious people that go door to door. I think they're Mormons, if I'm not mistaken. And they end up at Hugh Grant's house. They go inside. He invites them in. They're like, oh, we can't come in without a woman present. So yeah, I think they are Church of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons or whatever. Mm-hmm. And not spoiling anything here, I won't go too much into it, but then he tells them like, oh yeah, my wife's in the kitchen cooking. She's baking. You can smell it. She's baking. They go inside the house. He locks them in. Turns out that what they were smelling was a candle. There's no wife there. But again, there's way more to the movie than that, but that's how the girls get locked in. And basically he gives them a crash course on religion and tries to kind of mess with their minds and plays they got locked in, like deadbolted in, and he's telling them it's all for good. So they're trying not to freak out, but he keeps them trapped in the house and discusses religion with them. Again, they're Mormons, so their faith is very strong and a little old school, if you will. And just a fantastic movie. Kind of a psychological thriller more than anything. And then some like supernaturally stuff at the end. And just really good. If you have a chance to watch it, I highly recommend checking it out. That was my personal favorite horror movie of 2025.
School, if you will. That's awesome. So I have not watched that movie yet. I want to. It's on the list that me and Jess want to watch. My next category is podcast. So the nominees for me are Bad Friends, which is always up there for me. I listen to it every time I travel. It's easy to catch up on a couple of them. Slow Burn, which is kind of like a political / history type podcast. And then Smartless with I forget the two that are on it, but I mean
Jason Bateman and Will Arnett.
Great show. But my winner this year is something I just started listening to probably 2 months ago, and it's called Tides of History. I actually came across it through Spotify, and it was one of those things where it gave you like a sample to listen to, and I listened to the first 45 minutes, and it's really cool. It started off with the history of Rome, Rome East, Rome West, like the downfall of, and basically how it progresses through history into, whatever, how that political sense, it's a long listen though. And that's kind of what I need in my long drives in my car is kind of long, slow listenings and kind of like deep storytelling of stuff that I knew on the surface, but didn't know in detail. And it kind of gets into it for me. But it's a great podcast if you ever get a chance to listen to it. But unless you're a huge history buff, you're probably not going to enjoy it as much. But for me, it kind of really goes into the details, the politics behind it, what happened, what took place, the pivotal moments in history of like why now this happened because of this moment. So it's really cool. It's a really good listen.
Yeah, I ended up not doing a podcast category this year because I realized I have not listened to any new podcasts. I still legitimately only listen to Bad Friends, This Is Important, The Workaholics guys, and Tosh Show. And then I replay Rover's Morning Glory because they put it out as a podcast because I listen to it a little bit at work, but I can't like consistently start to finish. So I go back and re-listen to Rover's Morning Glory episodes. So that's literally all I listen to. I have no new podcasts in my life. I do need to branch out, but I have been listening to a lot of audiobooks. I feel like that kind of makes up for it. But yeah, no, great. I love podcasts. I love listening to shit. Terry yells at me all the time because I'm the kind of person that has to basically have an earbud in at all times, or I have to have sound going. I like listening to shit. Like if I'm doing something. So like if I'm cooking, I want something playing. If I'm doing dishes, whatever, I like listening to shit. So I constantly have something going.
I think George has one.
Oh, George has one. I'm sorry. I didn't look at I'm not gonna lie. I'm scanning back and forth on things. I didn't see the list.
According to George's list, he was next.
Yeah, George has shit creator. Oh, I'm sorry, skit. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely not that. A couple of these folks you guys might recognize. Annie, of course, is all over the place on TV now. She's on NFL Network. She's on ESPN. She's bouncing around everywhere. And she does some pretty fun NFL skits. Rich there is the Pro Football Demon, is his alias. And he too also does, the skits of, playing like the heads of different teams or different players. Benchwarmer Brandon is the guy with the Raiders logo that happens to be in front of him. He too does. All four of them do the same thing. And Connor, who is the Mega Casuals site, he has one that he is more famous for currently, the Injury Demon, as well as doing teams and players. When he does the Injury Demon, his weekly update of an injury report per se is absolutely been entertaining all year long. Unfortunately for me, there's been a lot of 49ers every single week. And I just sit there and go, come on, just one time. But one of the things that he did really, really well, which I thought was priceless this year, was the fact that he had Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow and the Injury Demon became like there seemed to be a little bromance thing going on. And he characterized it real well.
You spent a lot of time together.
It was pretty well done. So with that being said, those nominees I have chosen as my winner is Connor from the Mega Casuals with the Injury Demon character. He really has taken this all to a new level, and it is seriously entertaining. And I can't wait for next year. Next year is going to be, I'm sure, just as good.
Awesome.
I've only ever heard of these people because of you sending them to us in the group chat. Because I don't know if I'm just trying to avoid, or I'm trying to just like cement the fact that I'm old, but I like avoid watching reels. I don't go on TikTok ever. I don't have notifications turned on. So if I go on, it's honestly only during the Brown season for the most part when I'm making a Buzzball video. The same thing with like Facebook and Instagram. I don't do the reels. I don't scan through videos that often. I don't know. I just
the only person that I would add to this recently that I've loved this year is the creator out of Cleveland who does the punt videos because I think they're hilarious. Like the one that says, I'm the Cleveland Browns, and
yes,
the Browns, and it's like all he talks about is punting. Hilarious.
Yes, he is hilarious.
But that's all I got. That's all I was going to add to that.
Yeah, he's funny too.
All right. Well, thank you, George. And we will get back into the show. And again, we'll be popping up randomly with our picks. We kind of already did a recap of the Super Bowl. I think it's a fair discussion that people have had. If you really look at the path that the Patriots took to get to the Super Bowl, it was one of the easiest ones you'll ever see. First round, they went and faced Justin Herbert, who for some reason is one of the worst playoff quarterbacks in NFL history. And apologies if you hear a yelling baby. We are sleep training again with Teddy because she was getting a little too attached. So now we just put her in the crib and we basically say, all right, have a good one. See ya. And we just let her cry it out. So there's a lot of yelling and tantrums going on in the room next to me. She eventually gives up and succumbs to sleep, but we have to wait. It's a process. But yeah, they faced Justin Herbert, who was just god awful, had a bunch of turnovers. Drake May himself wasn't even very good in that game. Then second round, they had to go face C.J. Stroud and the Texans' number 1 ranked defense. Ugly turnover full game from both sides, Drake May and C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud just happened to have some of the worst turnovers, and that's what ended up costing his team their season. And the Patriots then advanced to the Denver Broncos, who I firmly believe would have been playing in the Super Bowl had Bo Nix not gotten hurt and broken his ankle. So then they faced Jared Stidham, and they beat the Broncos barely and make it to Super Bowl 60 and get smoked by the Seattle Seahawks because they actually had to face some real competition and an offense that can actually move the ball. So, with that said, the game was ugly. We talked about it earlier from the start, just a field goal fest. Jason Myers, the kicker for the Seattle Seahawks, he had 5 field goals, which personally I think he should have won MVP because he outscored the Patriots. But he didn't. They gave MVP to Kenneth Walker because Kenneth Walker had like 150 or 175 all-purpose yards, which is good, but no touchdowns or anything like that. So I think Jason Myers was more of an impactful player, but that's just my opinion. I digress. Overall, though, the game, like we said, it was ugly. The beginning of it with Green Day, that was fine. I feel like the audio could have been better. I had to like really turn my TV up, so I don't know what happened with that, but the audio wasn't great. The introductions, they had the, God Bless America and the national anthem and stuff, and I never really heard of those people either, and I thought they were just, they were fine. No one will ever top Whitney. They were fine. And then you have the game itself stunk. Like Kyle said, the first half was just boring. Really no offense, all field goals. And then you get to halftime. You have the Bad Bunny halftime show. I unfortunately was with my, not unfortunately, I had a great time with my mother and father-in-law, but they're very stubborn, big, huge Trump fans. So they both pulled out devices and started playing the TP USA halftime show one on a tablet, the other one on their cell phone, and they're not synced, so the audio it's like echoing, and Mike has it literally jammed to his ear, and Terry has the glasses down to the tip of the nose, and she's just looking at her tablet, and they're both just listening. And then we're trying to put Teddy to sleep, so she's screaming in the monitor, and then I have Bad Bunny playing on the TV. So that was fun for my brain. And Tara finally snapped at her parents and said, "Turn your fucking things off. Like, this is crazy. This is too much noise happening right now." And she said it after it was already the third quarter was starting. So that's why she was like, "Turn your fucking things off. Like, it's over. Halftime's over." And so that was fun for the halftime event. And that's what triggered my post on Facebook where I'm like, why is everybody so like afraid of a fucking little Puerto Rican guy, like to the point where they're like, I have to watch Kid Rock to honor America. I don't know. It was just weird. The boycotting like that, the take my ball and go home type of mentality was just weird. Like they could have had, I don't even know. I don't care about musicians and their politics, but they could have had like fucking, what's the big country guy's name? I don't remember his name. Morgan Wallen.
Morgan Wallen. How dare you mess that up?
I couldn't name a single song of his. I don't listen to him. Morgan Wallen, they could have him performing at halftime and I would still leave my TV on it, even though I think his music is dog shit. And I'm guessing he and I don't agree politically, but I don't care enough to change the channel. It's halftime of the Super Bowl. I'll just leave it on. It wouldn't bother me one bit. I get it. He's from America, so that makes him more American to some, I guess. But I don't know. Again, I don't think the NFL will ever have another foreign language speaking artist. They pulled they swung for the fences. Again, say what you will about Bad Bunny. I've never listened to a single song of his, even on SNL when he hosts and sings. I fast forward through his songs because I don't care. And he's somehow the number one artist in the world. So the NFL said, fuck it, we're going to book him. And they did it. So every year I get excited for the halftime announcements, and then it's nobody I like, and then I'm like, oh, okay. Except for the one year in LA was cool where Eminem came out and like they had like the Dr. Dre and shit like that. That one was cool.
Oh, that was actually fun. Yeah, that
one was cool. I forgot about that one. That was probably the best one since Prince for the most part. Like they've had Maroon 5. I think they had Red Hot Chili Peppers. They all sucked. Like I'm not ashamed to admit if a musical act sucks, and it's been pretty bad.
I think the next show that they do should be a mix of different music genres, right? Like I think it'd be kind of cool to have like something, have a rock, have a country, have rap, whatever, mix it together. Like I'll never forget my favorite Super Bowl of all time was back when they did the Aerosmith, Nelly, Britney Spears, NSYNC, like the combination of all these different genres that came out somehow intermixed singing each other's songs. And I thought that was fun. It's entertaining. Like you should use the Super Bowl for something like that, where it's just a random mix for everybody. That way no one walks away being pissed off about something, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too old for this shit, but I just think it'd be kind
No,
of
I mean, I agree. Like when they announced, like even years ago, when they're like, we're just going to have Katy Perry as the host, like the Super Bowl. It's like, why? Like, no, super football fans don't want that.
right. Yeah. Katy Perry with this, and that, right? That'd be cool. You know, it's not this
And
is
that's
something.
it.
Be creative.
I forgot about the Weekend when he hosted it or did the halftime show a few years ago.
horrible.
Yeah, that sucked. I don't listen to the Weekend. I know a couple of his songs just from like hearing them on commercials and stuff. But like, I don't like the Weekend, and he was a halftime, and I thought it sucked. But again, I left it on. It's the halftime of the Super Bowl, so I'm like, whatever. But
Right.
yeah, the game stunk. Kenneth Walker won MVP. Seattle is your Super Bowl champion. I think, all jokes aside, my buddy Craig is a Seahawks fan, so I've been giving him shit all week, and every day he'll text like something about them winning, and I'm always like, dude, get over it. Like it happened days ago. Like, why are we still talking about it? I just keep fucking with him. But he's all excited. But and again, I'm not even trying to jab at him, but like I truly feel like this was one of the most forgettable Super Bowls of all time, top to bottom. There was nothing memorable.
As bad as that Rams Patriots one back in 2019, that was pretty effing boring.
So I disagree, and the only reason I disagree is just because of the star quality. So yes, the game itself was boring, but you still at least had Tom Brady, and you had some hope that like this game could open up at any minute. You have, Jared Goff was a number 1 overall pick. You've got some talent out there. So for me, there was a point where I was like, that game, I thought about that too, because that was the first game that came to mind when I was comparing how boring they both were. And I have to go with because one had Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, that made it more exciting than, Vrabel and Drake May and fucking Sam Darnold and Mike McDonald, who has no personality. Like, I don't know. That at least that one just had more entertaining figures. This game just had no star power at all. The biggest star was Stephon Diggs because he chokes people and knocks up women twice a week and cheats on Cardi B and has a crazy life. He was probably the biggest star on the field. And that's saying something when it's Stephon Diggs, who's not even really a household name in the NFL or like for people around the world. And for me, that's just kind of what took me out of it. I need star power. If I'm going in with teams that I don't care about, I need something to like interest me. And I had no reason to root for either team. I had more reasons to root against them. For instance, obviously my buddy Craig's a Seahawks fan, so I'm going to root against my friends' teams because I don't want them to be happy. I've always told them that. And then when it comes to the Patriots, they've had enough Super Bowls, and they also have the worst fan base. If you talk to people from Boston, their fucking hard R accent, their racism. People from Boston can be known as very scummy people. So obviously, I don't want anything to do with their city and fan base being happy either. So it was really a double-edged sword for me in the Super Bowl. But I enjoy money, so I was happy to bet on the Seattle Seahawks. And I know Bryce is a fan, so shout out to Bryce. He was excited to get a championship here. It's technically his second one in his lifetime, but first one he'll remember. How old was he for the first one? That was what, like 12 years ago? He doesn't remember. Nobody remembers anything from when they're 2. I don't believe him.
He sees the memories through photos, and then it connects it to his brain.
Yeah. He watches it on YouTube once a week and goes, I'll never forget it now. Let's jump into another category really quick for a tabby. Let's do it. This is all of us. We have favorite movie of 2025. I think that's very exciting. I'll start. Let's just do it that way. I have, assuming that's how your slides are set up, George. Okay, yeah. So my favorite movies of the year in order are Begonia with Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons or Jake Plemons, whatever his name is. I don't remember. Begonia, I already said that. Friendship with Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd. Very funny movie. Good Fortune with Keanu Reeves, Seth Rogen, and Aziz Ansari. The Phoenician Scheme with Michael Cera and Benicio del Toro. And A Real Pain with Rory Culkin, and I believe it was Jesse Eisenberg was the other person in that movie. I honestly don't remember. It's been a long time since I watched it. Yeah, I don't think it was Michael Cera. I think it was Jesse Eisenberg. Either way, those were my favorite movies that I watched from the year 2025. Technically, I'm sliding in Good Fortune. I watched that one on New Year's Day, so technically that's a 2026 movie if you want to get real technical. But I make the rules around here, so I added it to my list. However, it didn't win. The winner is, of course, Friendship. That was a funny movie for me. Tim Robinson's humor gets me like no other, so I love this movie. I've watched it like 3 or 4 times now, and I look forward to him coming out with another show or another season of his show. I think you should leave on Netflix if you've never watched it. Can't recommend it enough. Hilarious. It's something you will quote for the rest of your life. I quote it every day for the most part. So check out anything from Tim Robinson and you're guaranteed to laugh if you have my kind of humor. Next, Kyle, you are up with the envelope.
Yep. So my favorite movies, the nominees for me, the 3 that I did not pick. Sorry, I'll go with that. Sinners with Michael B. Jordan. I thought that was a great movie. I just loved it. Naked Gun, I thought was a great remake of a great movie, right? I thought they could go one way or the other. It could flop or it could be really good. I thought they nailed it. I thought Liam Neeson was hilarious in that movie. Definitely worth watching. And another one which I thought kind of hit the spot, at least the heartstrings for me, was Happy Gilmore 2. Like, I've been looking forward to that movie for a while, and I loved it. It was not as good as the first one, but still a good movie. But overall, the winner for me this year, totally different direction than the first 3 movies, is The Conjuring 4, The Last Rites. I thought that movie was great. Me and Jess have loved the series. I thought they did a great job with this. And I know it's supposedly the end of whatever this story, but I just saw the next thing about they're doing like a preview, like a prequel to this series. So I'm looking forward to that. So
I really enjoyed Conjuring 4. It just wasn't. I liked Heretic a little bit more. And shame on me, I completely forgot about a movie from 2025 that I could have included on Best Horror or even just Best Movie. It was Weapons. I completely forgot about Weapons. That was 2025. Life is such a blur for me. I don't remember when things come out anymore when I saw them.
it was such an interesting movie.
I just thought that Weapons would have definitely been on my list for either or of those categories and could have been in contention for winning.
You know what movie I just watched? I don't know if you've seen it. Not to cut you off, George. I'll make it quick. But the new one with Emma Stone, it's on Peacock. But we're like it's Emma Stone. I forget his name. That he think they kidnap her because they think she's an alien and hold her hostage.
Yeah, that was in my list. That's Begonia with
sorry. Okay,
Emma Stone. I think it's Jake Clemens or something.
I guess I was paying attention first of all. So that movie was fucked up. But I called that from the beginning. I'm like, the twist has to be that she actually is an alien. Like, it has to be that.
100%.
It was great. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, George. You're up.
No, that's okay. Hey, I'm just along for the ride. I didn't get to see too much this year, but for what I did, ironically, I was very disappointed. I'm like, wow, you usually see at least 2 movies a month, but this has been crazy. So the ones I did turn around and go see were Avatar, Fire and Ash, Tron Ares, Superman, and Ballerina out of the John Wick series. And for me, why did that?
The Conjuring 4.
Ballerina, very well written. I like the way that they put it in the proper timeline of the John Wick story. I thought it was very well done. I was very impressed, and it gave us a nice glimpse of that side of the Russian family in this movie. So kudos to them for that excellent back storyline. That was really, really well done.
Thank you, George. Now, what's funny about George's picks, or nominees, I should say, 3 of the 4 I haven't even seen yet, but they are on my list to see. I saw Superman. I did enjoy Superman, but I've yet to watch Ballerina. I'm not going to lie, I kind of forgot that it existed, so that's my fault. And Tron and Avatar I just haven't seen yet, because Tron I'm a little hesitant. I don't like, what's his name?
Jared Leto.
Leno.
Jared Leto. Yeah, I hate Jared Leto. And then I haven't seen the other one just because I don't think it's out yet. Avatar.
Fire and Ash is still very new. Yeah, because we went to
half-hour movie, so I need to watch that one at home so I can take breaks when needed. Because getting out of the house for 5 hours with a 2-year-old is not something that is easy to do.
It's not going to happen.
So yeah, I definitely want to watch those. Ballerina, now that you mention it, I might watch that one tonight if I have some time. But thank you, George.
Yeah, you're welcome. You
All right.
going in for some more, or we go flipping back over?
You know what? Your call. Let's do it. Let's do another one. Let's go with, I have one here. My favorite Cleveland sports moment. My favorite Cleveland sports moment this year. I didn't have any categories. I just picked one thing because I'm not going to lie, it was a down year for Cleveland sports. The Browns stunk. The Cavs were embarrassing in the playoffs and, have had a rough start to their season. So the only really silver lining glimmer of hope that we've had here is Cleveland Guardians. They made history, albeit, same old shit. They make the playoffs, but they get eliminated because they don't spend any money. They're currently the lowest salary cap in Major League Baseball right now because the goal, according to Guardian Guy Greg, was to dump payroll to make the team to make more money when they sell the team because the team's value will only increase if the payroll's cheaper. That's more money in their pocket. So the Dolans currently have the Guardians currently have the lowest payroll in Major League Baseball. Last year they were in the bottom 5 per usual, and they still made a historic comeback to win the division from the Detroit Tigers, albeit the Detroit Tigers did eliminate them in the playoffs right after. But still a great accomplishment. History, the furthest. They were trailing the most games in MLB history to make a comeback for the division title. So historic, meant nothing in the grand scheme of things, but in a down year for Cleveland sports, it was probably the best thing that I saw. So that was my favorite Cleveland sports moment of 2025.
Awesome. Mine is just sports moment in general, right? So I've got 3 that were kind of my favorite and 1 overall for me for the year. So the other 3 were Rory McIlroy winning the Grand Slam. He won the Masters last year, and I think just him kind of doing that Grand Slam was huge. It's hard to do. It's hard to accomplish. So, even though I'm not a big fan of Rory's, congratulations to him. OSU winning a championship last year, beginning of last year. That was huge. I thought them coming through the playoffs and doing what they did. And the flip side of that, I love the fact that Michigan got caught in a cheating scandal because fuck those guys. So that was one of my favorite sports moments. But overall, my favorite sports moment of the year last year was me winning a fucking golf tournament in the MGA finally. That was not easy to do, and that was fun. It was a cool accomplishment, even though it means nothing in life other than the fact that I can say I did it. But to me, it was
bragging rights.
It was a cool moment. I'll take it. So that's my favorite sports moment of last year.
It's funny you mentioned the Ohio State championship because I'm not gonna lie, I forgot about it. It didn't even cross my mind for favorite moment.
Yeah, beginning of last year, but yeah,
didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. There you go. George, do you have anything? Nope. No, you don't.
Nope.
Okay.
We're still on to you
Moving
guys.
All right. Then we will get back into sports a little bit, and we're going to talk about some NFL award winners. We'd have to go back and listen. I don't remember who we projected to win awards. I may have written it down, but I don't remember. Probably not, if I had to guess. I don't know. Either way, the NFL had their award ceremony, and most of them were kind of no-brainers. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to, wasn't it Teteroa McMillan?
Yep. Yeah, that was kind of controversy, but yeah, it went to him.
Yeah, a lot of people thought Tyler Shuck would have gotten that, so that was a little fun one. Other than that, they were pretty, Myles Garrett got Defensive Player of the Year. That one kind of, again, goes without saying. Carson Schlesinger gets Defensive Rookie of the Year. That one, everyone kind of knew since, week 7 that was going to happen. And then MVP goes to Matthew Stafford, which there were some people that were trying to say.
I think we projected 3 or 4 of those.
I think we did pretty well, honestly.
Did you see the podcast with Micah and Miles yesterday?
I heard some people talking about it. I haven't watched it yet, though.
He was talking about how Micah himself does it better than Miles and how he can play every position. And Miles is like, "What are you talking about? I have a sack from every position on the line." He goes, my job is to set the edge. What's your job again?" They were kind of talking shit to each other a little bit. I thought it was kind of funny.
And rightfully so. I personally think Micah Parsons is one of the most overrated players in the NFL. I remember when the Packers traded for him to start the season, and whatever their first game of the year was, like the way they talked about him on the field was like, oh my God, one guy you got to watch out for at all times is Micah Parsons. And he was pretty non-impactful in the game, but they were like really just trying to shove it down your throat of like, oh man, you got to keep an eye on this guy. Look at him out there. And it's like, the dude's never even won a Defensive Player of the Year award, for fuck's sake. Like, can we pump the brakes a little bit? He's
Right.
good, but like, win a Defensive Player of the Year, let alone 2, before you start acting like he's a second coming of, LT or something like that. So, I don't know. I've never really been a huge fan of Micah Parsons. Again, I know he plays the position a little differently. He probably would have more stats under his belt if they didn't use him the way they do, and kind of like a TJ Watt style of like he goes out against the pass occasionally. At least that's what he was doing in Dallas a little bit. And I just feel like he's a complete liability against the run, so you can't even really have him on the field if you think run's coming from the other team. So he's not even close in the conversation to a guy like Myles Garrett, in my opinion. So the fact that he was trying to puff his chest out a little bit, and I'm glad Myles put him back in his place. But no, I haven't seen it yet. I did hear a little bit about it. I heard there were some good quotes and stuff.
It's definitely worth watching. Or I caught bits and pieces. I didn't watch the whole thing, but the part I watched was like 3 minutes long of just like cut together pieces of them going back and forth. But it's probably worth a whole watch for the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, other than that, Christian McCaffrey won Comeback Player of the Year. Coach of the Year was Vrabel, I think, right?
Yep.
Which, I mean, should have gone to Mike McDonald, let's be honest. I think the Seahawks coach deserved it, but I don't know. What do I know? They kind of made it more so of who can turn their team around the best is how you get that award. And I just feel like that Mike McDonald having the best team all year, trading Geno Smith last year, getting Sam Darnold, going to a Super Bowl. Obviously, this award was voted on before the playoffs even started, but I feel like they had enough success in the season to where he should have won it. But I do understand why you give it to a guy who took over a 3-win team the year before and takes them to the Super Bowl. But again, the voting was done beforehand, but they were still the 2 seed in the AFC. So still an accomplishment. I'm not knocking Mike Vrabel by any stretch of the imagination, but for a guy who's coaching his second team, who's in like year 10 in the NFL, getting it over a guy who is in, I think Mike McDonald's been the coach in Seattle for 3 years now, maybe 2.
Yeah.
So the fact that he took them to a got them the 1 seed with Sam Darnold after being there for a couple of years when they weren't that good for the last decade. They were okay, don't get me wrong, but they were not a world beater. I think he would have deserved it, and I would have been more than okay with the NFL giving it to him, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. While we're on the NFL, don't have a slide for this one because it's kind of newer, but poor Kevin Stefanski cannot catch a break with his players and their off-field fiascos. Michael Pierce Jr. is more than likely out of the league, if I had to guess. I firmly believe that he had full intentions of murdering his ex-girlfriend and probably murdering himself. A little murder-suicide situation, unfortunately, just on the way he was acting. He had no good intentions if he would have caught her, and then had he gotten her and completed whatever malicious acts he was going to do, I don't think it would have been good for anybody. He was ramming his car into hers, preventing her from leaving. She was luckily calling the police because they got to him in time, pulled him out of the car. He fought like 7 cops, and he got arrested. And I think she's changed her number. He stalks her. So I do think he's probably done in the NFL, if I had to guess. And that was one of the things when he was coming out of Tennessee last year. I will never forget reading up on him, and there were a lot of people that said this dude has some major character flaws. And sure enough, he was still drafted in the first round. The Atlanta Falcons traded their first-round pick for this year and took him with the Rams pick. So this year, the Rams have the Falcons draft pick, and the guy they took that draft pick with is probably never going to play again. So just a pretty shitty situation because he was actually turning into a damn good player in the second half of the year last year. But Kevin Stefanski is more than likely going to have to start week 1 without a first-round pick for the rest of his career. So that sucks. But that situation is scary. We'll see what happens. There's also more news from ex-NFL players. Ex-Ohio State player Deron Lee murdered his girlfriend, and he is more than likely going to face the death penalty from what I read today. The judge said no bond. His girlfriend had a broken neck, stab wounds, bites, chunks of her skin taken out, and Deron Lee was covered in blood when they got there, and there was blood everywhere. So, from what I understand, is he is fully eligible for the death penalty. So we'll see what happens with that. But that's, thoughts and prayers, whatever you do out there for the family of the victim, because that sucks for them that they lost a daughter, sister, whatever. So that sucks. Yep. Just because who knows, maybe CTE. I don't know the story of what happened or anything like that, but there's no excuse to do something that crazy. But some fucked up things.
You don't know where people are capable of. That's scary to think about, that somebody's capable of like going past the point of like a kill and just doing whatever else you did to that person, like continuing to do it. That is creepy. That's
especially somebody that, like, I don't know if they were still together. Again, I don't know much of the story, but the fact that was his girlfriend or even ex-girlfriend, the fact that he has that much anger and like craziness in his body to do something like that to somebody that he knows and loved or loves, whatever, like that's fucking nuts. But again, I don't know. It could be CTE, could be something like that. Oh, thanks, George. On a brighter note, let's talk about favorite album of the year. It's making George sniffle up thinking about all those dead people.
Actually, you could hear it from the green room only. I don't think it'll pop up on the audio. So,
it definitely popped up in the audio, but maybe it doesn't. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it honestly, it might have been so loud that it came through my earbud and went onto my microphone. So I think it might be on the show. It was so.
Next time I'll hit the mute. Sorry. No, I even turned off the offstage background. I was like, oh.
All I know is that Justin was talking, and all I saw was this. And I don't hear. And then I heard like a vacuum cleaner going across the microphones.
That's what I thought too. I'm like, what the hell's happening? Like, is there an alarm going off? I looked down and I just saw George with a hanky, and I'm like, okay, now I get it. Oh, jeez. Unfortunately, in my personal opinion, in the genres of music that I listen to, 2025 was a pretty down year for music in my world. We had some albums come out. Rushmere by Mumford & Sons gets a nomination. It was fine, but it's nowhere near peak Mumford. It was good, but it wasn't special. We had Burst in Decay, which is kind of like an EP, which is where one of my favorite bands of all time, the Wonder Years, they take a bunch of their songs and they kind of slow them down and make them acoustic. So that was a cool album, but again, not my favorite. Anti-Bloom by Silverstein. Silverstein, I believe, put out 2 albums this year. Both are great for them. Silverstein, if you're familiar with them, they were considered like emo back in the day. They were one of the pioneers of the genre, and they're still going strong, like 20 plus years later. A couple new band members along the way, but they're still rocking and doing well. But after a while, it's hard to make a consistent great album, for 20 straight years. So their music's still great. The album's still good and fun to listen to, but there's nothing really nothing really sets it apart from any of their other albums, in my opinion. And then on top of that, we had Combust, which was an EP from Many Eyes, which is the newer band from the former lead singer Keith Buckley of Every Time I Die. I don't think they're ever going to get back together. So he is with Many Eyes. So I will take whatever I can get from Keith Buckley. So that's why that is on the list. And then one of my favorite bands, The Story So Far, they did a tour this year. And from their latest album called I Want to Disappear, they did a live album. So I don't know if it's in one place or if they took audio from multiple cities, but they did their concert in order as a live concert. I'm a huge fan of live albums. The Blink-182 Mark Tom and Travis show is hands down one of the best live albums of all time, and that's not just me because I'm a Blink fan. I think it really is. I think the audio quality is fantastic. They were so fun and funny back then. This was right after Enema of the State came out, and they got really famous. So great album. If you've never heard it, I highly recommend it. And then there's like 20 songs at the end of it that are just them fucking around on stage. And that's literally what you can expect from a Blink-182 show. And that was them at their peak. So with that being said, my favorite album was I Want to Disappear in the USA by The Story So Far, the live album. Again, just one of my favorite bands, all bangers, all of some of my favorite songs in that album, and hearing it live, just a cool way to listen to it. So that was my favorite from 2025.
Awesome. And I also have a favorite album of the year too. 3 that did not win for me and I was all over the place, but obviously I'm forced to listen to some of these because of my wife, but wasn't bad. Life of a Showgirl, Taylor Swift, actually not horrible, pretty good. Mayhem, Lady Gaga, another one that's pretty popular in the household. Everest from Hailstorm. To be honest, I love Hailstorm. Did not know they dropped a new album last year, but I've been listening to it over and over again. A great album. Love it. And then the winner for me is Justin's favorite artist, Morgan Walker. No, I'm just kidding. It's Morgan
Walker.
Not the problem. It's 22 songs on the album. Pretty good. I like it. Big fan of his. And then my other favorite artist, Luke Combs, has a new one dropping out here in 2 months. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But yeah, I'm a country fan. It happens.
That is 22 too many songs on that album. George, do you have an album this year?
No, I do not have an album.
It's Beats 22.
Mine
It's just
is
his album was him blowing his nose. He just has it on a YouTube replay for an hour straight.
The reality shows. I was kind of going through this. Kel and I watch all of these: Masked Singer, The Floor, AGT, and Hollywood Squares. I as much as I am really getting more onto the Hollywood Squares with Drew Barrymore and our oh my gosh, now I brain farted the Minnesota wide receiver who's the main host. I forgot him already. Darn it.
Justin Jefferson?
No. Former. He's a former.
Adam Thielen?
No, you got to go back about 10 years.
Randy Moss?
No, not Moss. It's
Vikings. Chris Carter?
No.
Was he good in the NFL?
He was average.
Yes. Average Minnesota Vikings wide receiver. Was Greg Jennings there?
Chris Carter?
James Jones?
Nate Burleson, sorry.
Nate Burleson, was he ever on the Vikings? He was on the Browns and Lions. I know that. Was he ever on the
Lions?
Vikings?
He was with the Lions.
Well, that probably explains why I couldn't guess him.
Yeah.
I don't remember him.
He was actually a journeyman. Yeah, he was with everybody.
Yeah, he was with the Browns for a little bit. You could have said the former Browns guy that does like the Today Show or whatever. Hell, I don't know what he's on.
Yeah,
Good America or whatever.
He's on the NFL.
He's on a lot of stuff these days. I don't think he's that like. I don't know. I don't understand how he gets so big in the media.
He has found his niche in Hollywood. I think that's pretty much up his alley. But Justin, there's no secret to this, my man. It's The Floor.
I had a hunch.
I mean, where everybody literally at home can play along with this game. Yeah, it wins hands down.
No, that show's awesome. Speaking of reality shows, actually, George, I didn't make it a pick or anything like that. I may have used it as a tip. I really don't remember over the last couple of weeks. But if you liked Fear Factor with Joe Rogan, they brought it back with a little bit of a twist. And there is now the Fear Factor House show with Johnny Knoxville. And so far, it's really good.
I've been watching that. She loves it.
There's a new one on tonight, actually. I'm really excited to watch it. I think it's been going really well. I think the way they have it set up, where it's not just every week it's new people and they do 3 games. That's how they always did it with Joe Rogan. This is way different. And sometimes they have to work as teams, and then people get screwed over and like a lot of cool shit. I don't want to spoil anything, but so far it's been really good. So great choices by George, though. The Floor obviously is superior. It's such a good show.
Fantastic show.
All right. Next up, let's get back into sports a little bit. That's why I was a little late to start the show. That and George being the invisible man. But I wanted to get my TV set up to watch the Cavs game, and I wanted to see James Harden make his Cavalier at-home debut because, yes, we didn't talk about it last week because it happened while we were on hiatus, but James Harden is officially a Cleveland Cavalier at the expense of Darius Garland. And I personally I'm more than okay with the trade. My number one thing, I've been pissed off the last few seasons in the playoffs because the Cavs have choked and continuing. Like, I know it's not technically the definition. It's the famous expression though, is the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. That would be the Cavaliers trying to shove the core 4 into a championship run. They clearly are not built for the playoffs, so shakeups need to happen. You know you have a dominant player in Donovan Mitchell. You know you're going to get points out of him pretty much every single night. He's a dog. And then you have Jared Allen, who tends to disappear in the playoffs and go soft. You have Evan Mobley, who disappears in the playoffs and goes soft. And then you have Darius Garland, who can't stay healthy and tends to disappear in the playoffs. So all three of those last guys that I listed were expendable. There were some rumors floating around that the Cavs were interested in trading Evan Mobley and some draft picks to the Milwaukee Bucks for Giannis Antetokounmpo. And my brother-in-law, Khan, heard the rumors, texted me and said, what do you think of this? Would you do this? And I said, I would do that 100 times out of 100, and I wouldn't even think twice. I love Evan Mobley, but Giannis Antetokounmpo is an MVP. He's a champion. He's one of the best players in the NBA. And yes, I would gladly take him on the Cavaliers over Evan Mobley any day of the week. And then same thing with Darius Garland. People said, what do you think of the trade for James Harden? And I said, well, Darius Garland is a good scorer some nights. You might get 10 points out of him one night. You might get 25 or 30 the next night. You never know. Assists, same thing. You might have a night where he gets you 10 assists, and you might have a night where he gets you 2 or 3. James Harden is a former MVP. He is one of the best players in the NBA. He will be a Hall of Famer. He can score at will. He can shoot from all over the court. He can get to the free throw line, and I think he's second in the league in assists. So trading for a guy like that for a team that needs an extra player in the playoffs, an extra talented player, if you will, I think it was a great move. I'm okay with it. It's unfortunate. I like Darius Garland, nothing against the guy, but at the same time, I'm a Cavs fan. So whatever's best for my team, I want them to do. And I'm not here making friends. So Darius Garland is now a Los Angeles Clipper, where ironically enough, his father played. So that's kind of cool. And the Cavs do have James Harden though. So I love the trade. I don't know what your thoughts are, Kyle. They also traded for Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis. We didn't talk about that. They traded DeAndre Hunter, some minor moves for some bench depth. And so far, those guys have fit in very well. But obviously, the James Harden trade was the main one. So I like it.
Yeah, I mean, James Harden to me has always been that guy. It's like, I don't know, like I give or take. I've never been a big fan of James Harden. I think he's a good basketball player. And I feel like he's always a guy who needs to have the ball in his hands, right? And I've always looked at him as a selfish basketball player to a point. But then I started going back and looking at some of the highlights and some of the stuff over the years with him. And he's just kind of been that man who kind of blends in where he's at, right? He tries to fit in, right? He plays off the person. He plays off the main person. Like, you and I texted quickly about it. And, when he played for Oklahoma City, he kind of was that third wheel between Westbrook and Durant, right? When he was in Houston, he was the second fiddle there a little bit, right? And at the Clippers, he's the second fiddle. He was the second, not the second fiddle, but him and Kawhi kind of played off each other a little bit, but he wasn't very happy there. Now he's in Cleveland, where I think he is going to be someone who plays off Donovan very well, which has already been shown. He's also, I think, going to make the big men move a little bit better, like a little more quicker. Like his passing ability is going to open up that court a little bit more than they're used to, especially with Darius, because Darius was, while an okay passer, he wasn't at the level of Harden. And the one thing I joked about last night with a group of people in a group chats was, I'm okay now with James Harden shooting up a three and falling 20 feet backwards, trying to get that call. I'm okay with it now, right? That's what he does, right? He tries to get that extra call or tries to go to the line and stuff. So I'm hoping it works. It seems to have given some extra boost of energy, right? I like all the trades the Cavs made. I think Schroeder coming in is nice off the bench. I think it kind of adds that little small rotation to give people the breaks they need. I'm okay with it so far. I'm pretty excited to see. And hell, tonight turned out pretty well. So far, at least.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I've never been the biggest James Harden fan. I've always kind of been indifferent about him. And the reasoning for that is, on one hand, I think he's a hell of a player. Obviously, he's an MVP. He's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the top 75 players of all time, more than likely. And when he got traded from the Oklahoma City Thunder many moons ago, when they had the big three of Kevin Durant, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, I told people right away, I said they traded the wrong guy. They should have gotten rid of Russell Westbrook. I think if it was James Harden and Kevin Durant that stayed in Oklahoma City, there's a good chance they have a championship together. I think their team was that talented, or those two were that talented together. I think Westbrook is what held them back. So that was my thoughts on that back in the day. And then, yeah, as you said, he's bounced around from team to team. He's kind of played second fiddle. He's never, in my opinion, he's never been on a team as good and deep as this Cavaliers team. The best chance he had was when he was in Brooklyn, when it was him, Kyrie, and Kevin Durant. Yes, again, three likely Hall of Famers, three of the best players in the NBA at their peaks. But they didn't have depth. Those Nets teams never went anywhere because they weren't good overall teams. This Cavs team has all of that. So I really don't think James Harden's ever been on a team that good, or this good, I should say. As I'm watching Sam,
I feel like the last two games, Jared Allen's got a little pep in his step. He's kind of all over the court now, right? A little extra speed to those feet of his. And I'm not saying he was slow before, but I feel like the entire dynamic of the floor has changed a little bit, which is kind of what we needed. So.
And that's the funny thing too, is with this whole situation, we were going a couple of weeks with the Cavs playing decent. Like nobody really talked about it, but the Cavs were quietly putting together a couple of good weeks, and that was without Darius Garland and then without Evan Mobley. And again, nothing. I don't want to sound like I'm hating on Evan Mobley because I really like him as a player. I wanted the Cavs to draft him. I'd love him to stay here and continue to grow. But at the same time, had we been able to trade him for Giannis, I would have done it. So I don't want this to sound like I'm ragging on Evan Mobley. But this is all without Evan Mobley, who was last year's Defensive Player of the Year. The fact that the Cavs are still winning games and they make these trades, they're getting everybody acclimated with each other, and they're playing really good basketball. I love what I'm seeing. It's making me really happy. And again, I said it earlier, no offense to Darius Garland, but as a Cavs fan, I want a championship. I'm sick of them choking in the playoffs, and if that means getting rid of somebody and shaking it up, I was all for it. So I understand it. And I like the move so far as the Cavs score again, and they're up 16. Hell yeah. But yeah, I like it. I love the additions. I love the bench additions of Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder. They traded Lonzo Ball. They got him off the team. They signed Naquan Tomlin to a normal NBA contract, so they are set for the rest of the season. They did not get out of the second apron, so they cannot sign anybody that gets released unless they were making like league minimum or something like that. There's some weird stipulations, but the Cavs basically can't make any moves. The hot rumor, which we'll have plenty of time to talk about, is that next season will feature a power forward making his third appearance in a Cleveland Cavaliers uniform, LeBron James. But again, we have plenty of time to talk about it. But I love the trades. That's the hot rumor, is that next offseason, Donovan Mitchell and James Harden will be recruiting LeBron James to Cleveland in the worst way, and that's the Cavs' ultimate goal, is to get him here next season. So we'll see if that happens.
What do we have James Harden for? What's his contract?
I think he is going to be getting an extension this offseason. I think he's got another, maybe some sort of option in the offseason. Basically, this trade almost guarantees he's going to be getting an extension. So he'll be with Cleveland for the next few years.
The rumor was he wanted to come here, I think. Wasn't it
the
story that he wanted to come
here? He had no trade clause, so he had to pick where he went.
Okay. Makes sense.
So he's happy to be here.
I like it.
Let's get in. We're boring George talking about basketball, so let's get into I saw him yawning down there. Let's get into our next.
I only got 15 minutes too, so let's rock out these last.
Yeah, we'll rock out really quick.
I'm sorry, it's the blood pressure meds. It kicks in sometimes.
Oh, it's also because you're 65 years old too, buddy.
Oh wow, really? Really? I'm not even 53 yet.
Hey, you're doing better than Chipper. He's probably already asleep, so at least you got that going for you.
True.
The next category is my favorite book of 2025. That doesn't necessarily mean the book was published in 2025. It just means it is my favorite. So for this one, I did have a list. I just have to find it, so give me one quick second. Where the fuck did it go? Oh, I don't have a list. I picked one winner. My apologies. I didn't have a top five. I thought I did, but I guess I didn't. Either way, my winner, plain as day, Fahrenheit 182 by Mark Hoppus. His the bass player from Blink-182 put out a phenomenal book. Really delves into his childhood and him growing up and his family life, and then it goes a little bit into the Blink stuff and obviously his cancer. He's had a crazy life. He's had a fun life. Mark Hoppus seems like one of the most genuinely nice people in the world, and his book was excellent. So that when it came out, I was so excited to get it. I bought it the opening day, or whatever they call it, release day, and I read it within like a week. Couldn't put it down. It was honestly just a really good book. Also, he's very funny and well read himself. So it was a fantastic book. If you haven't checked it out yet, couldn't recommend it more. So that's my favorite book of 2025, Fahrenheit 182 by Mark Hoppus.
Awesome. And you got back to back there. So.
Oh, I do. What's the next one?
Your sports moment.
Worst sports moment of 2025. A lot of injuries ruining people's careers / seasons. Tyrese Halliburton tearing his Achilles in the finals. Just a brutal moment for Indiana, which A, on one hand, fuck Indiana because they're rivals for the Cavaliers. They eliminated us, et cetera, et cetera. But B, it does suck to see a team's championship hopes get dashed because of an injury. But, I mean, as a Cavs fan, I've seen it happen twice in one playoff, 2015 with Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving. So it sucks for them, but shit happens. Get over it. The next one, George Kittle tearing his Achilles. That was a brutal blow for the Niners. He is more than likely, his career is probably over. I mean, he's like going to be 35 years old when he comes back, and he'll be trying to come back from a torn Achilles. That is not easy. I don't know. It's a 1-year injury, so he's more than likely going to miss all of 2026. And then when he tries to make a return, he won't have as much burst or speed. And again, he'll be mid-30s. So unfortunately, George Kittle's career is probably over, at least as a dominant football player. So that's a shame. It's a horrible injury to see. Same goes with Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's injury was on my list because it was one of the ugliest injuries I've seen. He's a 30-something-year-old dude that lives off his speed, and he's probably not going to have that anymore. So that was one of my worst. And then Dame Lillard, same thing. Damian Lillard tore his Achilles last year. He is an old dude. Somehow he's in the three-point contest this weekend. I don't understand how, because he tore his Achilles like 8 months ago. But we'll see how that goes. Hopefully he doesn't tear it again. And then my final nomination is the Browns drafting Shedeur Sanders. And the winner is, of course, the Browns drafting Shedeur Sanders. Again, nothing against the kid. He seems like a genuinely nice dude that just wants to play in the NFL. That's his dream, his goal, etc. Love it. It's his fan base. It is his dad. It is the media. It is all these people that are just trying to pretend like he's good, and he's not. I watched the games. I can look at the stat sheet. I can look at the film. He is not a good quarterback. It's crazy that there are still people out there just trying to pretend like this dude's really fucking good. I don't understand it. So the Browns drafting him has made this one of the most miserable seasons I've ever experienced as a fan, because not only did they suck, but then I had to listen to Shedeur Sanders talk all fucking week, every week, all season, when the Browns were like a 2-3 win team. It was horrible. I hated every second of it, and I wish they had never drafted him. That was my worst sports moment of 2025.
I like it, and I think you have 3 now.
We're back to
TV show.
Jesus.
We all have something for TV show.
Yeah.
Okay, let me catch my breath. All right, my list is Peacemaker with John Cena, Dexter Resurrection, obviously the resurrection of Dexter, one of my favorite shows of all time. The Chair Company with Tim Robinson, hilarious on HBO. The Studio with Seth Rogen on Apple TV, and The Rehearsal with Nathan Fielder from Nathan For You. Very funny show on HBO also. But my winner is The Studio with Seth Rogen. Shout out to, what was her name? Caroline. What's her? Catherine O'Hara. I'm sorry, not Caroline. That's why I couldn't remember. Catherine O'Hara from Schitt's Creek, from Home Alone, from a million different things. You know Catherine O'Hara. And obviously The Studio. She passed away last week. Very sad, but she was great in that show. It's really, I think it's hilarious. I'm a huge Seth Rogen fan. The show basically is like a little bit of an exaggerated version of behind the scenes in Hollywood, and I find that fascinating. I thought they did a really good job to keep you entertained. The way the camera follows everybody, and like the way they did the show was fantastic. I really liked it. So that was my favorite show of 2025.
Awesome. My favorite show of 2025, the 3 shows that did not make, who were not the winner, but made the list. The Pit, which is on HBO Max, it's a great show. Medical follows, what's-his-face inside of the ER. I mean, it's great. Some people who are like nurses say that it's a pretty accurate show to watch, so it's kind of cool to see the storylines that play out. Landman with, oh my God, I'm having a brain fart now.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Great show. It just finished season 2, which I thought the end of season 2 was great. Waiting for season 3, and then Lincoln Lawyer, which is on Netflix right now. Season 4 just dropped, and I've watched that every time it's come out pretty religiously. But the winner for me, by far, one of the best shows I've seen produced, back-to-back seasons of greatness. Fallout, which is on Amazon. If you've played the video game at all ever, you will. This show clicks on everything, hits on everything. All the canon stuff that's in the Fallout universe is in this. It's great. It's a great show, and I just read they have plans for it to go to at least 7 or 8 seasons, which I'm
holy shit,
pretty fucking excited about. So
wow.
Yeah. Well, that's good, but at the same token, that kind of makes you go, well, now I don't really have any real fear for the characters because there's 8 seasons, so it's not like they're going to kill people off or like something crazy is going to happen.
Oh, no,
She never.
they slowly introduced a couple other main characters this season, so it could be like a Game of Thrones where you're like, everyone's safe, and then the Red Wedding happens and everyone dies. So,
Well, if you're going another 7 or 8 seasons, you have to figure it's probably going to take them 2 to 3 years to create each season. So if you're looking at a guy like Walton Goggins, you're like, okay, does he have another 20 years of making this TV show? We don't know. Can we really? I don't know how old he is, but he's probably like 50. So
it's
him to continue to do it.
Great actor, by
He's
the way. I love
phenomenal, but yeah, just trying to bank on him making it to 70 in this role is, not that he's going to die before then, but like, I don't know, he won't be the same person. So, I haven't checked out season 2 yet. It's on my list. I've watched season 1. I'm just waiting for it to be finished. I like to binge watch, so haven't started it, but will do. George, I think you're up.
Yeah, I've got my top 3 here. Paradise, which is on Netflix, Andor, which is on Disney, of course, and Brilliant Minds, who has Zachary Quintino, who also played Spock in the new reboots. It does a fabulous job. That one's on NBC, playing a doctor, of all things, who has a weird telepathic ability to tap into his patients. It's kind of creepy. But I've got Kelly binge watching it actually right now, and she's hooked. She is totally hooked. Andor, of course, being the Star Wars prequel of Rogue One. I know that has definitely run its course, but it is pretty good. I enjoyed it. Paradise, of course, is the new one on Netflix that is coming up for its season 2 continuation of where folks basically live in a canyon, and because of a catastrophic Earth event that occurred. So there's still more to this show coming up for season 2 that starts literally in a couple weeks. So I'm very intrigued to see where they went with it for season 2 and how they plan on carrying on. So, of course, with that being said, Paradise is my winner. I know I did have it as one of my Just the Tips for you guys as well. And it is so well written. The twists and turns that keep coming up in this were just amazing. And if any indication from season 1, and they keep doing it into season 2, hang on, because it's going to win some major awards, and it's a great ride.
Oh yeah, thank you, George.
We might as well rock the rest of these out with me on here, so I don't miss anything. But I think the next one was
Justin's
worst
movie,
I believe.
Worst movie. Let's get into it. Let me find my list here. All right, movies. Yeah, I don't remember who I picked to win, so that's why I have to look at my board. The worst movies I watched in 2025. Again, these movies did not all come out in 2025, but I watched them. Inappropriate comedy. I think that was a movie it's got like Rob Schneider. It's got a couple people, Michelle Rodriguez. It's got some people you would recognize. I think even John Hamm might be in it. But it's one of those like movie 43 where every different scene is like a bit, and it fucking sucked. So did not like it at all. I thought it was terrible. So it made my list. Next up was You're Cordially Invited with Will Smith and Reese Witherspoon, about the movie of like their kids were getting married on conflicting weekends, and they got double booked at the resort. It was just one of the biggest pieces of shit I've ever seen. It was one of the least funny movies. Will Ferrell should be embarrassed that movie is on his IMDb page. But it was terrible. But obviously, so were all these movies, and that's why they're on my list. Afraid with John Cho from Harold and Kumar. You might know him from. The movie was just a stupid AI is evil and it's taking over. Another just bullshit, very unoriginal, uninspired fucking hunk of junk. Bone Lake was supposed to be this like scary movie, and like they talked about how great it was. It's about this couple. Kind of similar to Cordially Invited. These people double book themselves at an Airbnb, and then weird shit starts happening, and it turns out like there's a twist and all that. It was just a fucking stupid movie. I hated it. And then The Crow from 2024 with Bill Skarsgård. Nothing against Bill Skarsgård. I love him as an actor. He'll take just about any role, which might not necessarily be a good thing because doing this movie was also an embarrassment for his career. And I don't really like the original Crow. I'm going to just say that. That might get me some flack from people. As a huge horror fan that I am, I don't find The Crow with Brandon Lee to be that good. I think it's extremely overrated by people. It's a pretty fucking stupid movie, in my opinion. But the remake did not make it any better. So didn't like it. But my winner is, of course, You're Cordially Invited with Will Ferrell. It was truly one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I hated it. There's points where I got physically ill feeling because it was so fucking stupid, and I hated it so much. If you haven't seen it, please watch it so you can feel the hatred and anger that I felt because it was so fucking bad. So that was my worst movie of 2025.
I'm still in shock from the Crow was the worst movie ever. Like,
Yeah, I got nothing.
Like the original one from the 90s?
it's all right. It's a great movie. What are you
It's
talking
just,
about?
it's not good. It's really lame and just overhyped.
All right. We all can be wrong sometimes. I'll let you have this one for being wrong.
I agree. And everybody that likes that movie is dead wrong.
Yeah. The worst movie for me, I don't even have a list because honestly, I'm a pretty big fan of most movies. I find some good in them. But this movie was fucking trash from the get-go. It's The War of the Worlds with Ice Cube in it. I watched it in hopes that it was like some continuation from like the War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise back in 2005 or the one before that or even following the book. And I honestly got halfway through it. I paused it to go to the bathroom and I came back. I didn't even finish it. I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Like all the technology they're trying to use. I like Ice Cube as an actor. Let me great actor. He's not Academy Award winning acting, but I think any movie he's in, he does really good in it, right? Like he plays just an angrier version of himself sometimes, but it's funny.
That helps him because he has no range, so he's just the same guy and everything, which is like,
that
you know what you're getting.
that look you see in the photo right here, that's just who he is all the time.
Yeah.
That scour, right? But it's the worst movie I've ever seen. That's probably for the last 2 years. Don't even recommend it. Don't even start it. Don't even give yourself a moment.
I heard nothing but bad things, so that's one that I have no interest in even watching.
Yeah, it's not even worth it. It's crazy. George, what about you?
Yeah,
What?
I've got Thunderbolts,
What the
Karate Kid, Legends, and Captain America: The Brave New World.
Is this your favorite movie list?
These are not.
Oh boy.
The bottom two makes sense, but Thunderbolts, I really like that movie. I mean, I didn't think it was anything like it's nothing special, but it was just a fun superhero movie.
I was kind of like, eh. But the loser on this one, it is the Captain America. I mean, you put in Harrison Ford to turn around and turn into a Red Hulk. It's just poorly
Spoiler
done.
alert! I haven't seen it yet.
If you can't tell, that's
I was going to say it showed you it in the trailer.
No, that's the one Marvel movie that I haven't seen. I honestly forget about it. I don't really have a whole lot of interest in it.
There is.
I'll eventually see it just because I watch all Marvel stuff, but I just forgot about it.
This one has. I said, "Oh my god, what a waste!" It's a waste of Marvel's universes. You know, it's like, oh, give me the extra footage at the end of the movie. That's all I needed, and thank you. We'll move on.
Let's finish it out with you.
Yeah, speaking of moving on, favorite Cleveland athlete, my nominees are Myles Garrett, Jose Ramirez, and Spida Mitchell, because those are really the only three that matter here in this town. And of course, my winner goes to Myles Garrett. He broke the NFL sack record. He was Defensive Player of the Year. Phenomenal player. Obviously, nothing against Jose or Spida. Both are great players themselves, but having a historical record-breaking year gets you the award on the tabbies. So congratulations to Myles Garrett.
Go Miles. Better than Micah Parsons. And I just picked the worst moment of my year last year, which everybody should know right now. That lovely fucking car accident that I was in. That's still haunting me today. I still have to deal with this damn blood clot for another 3 months. I'm going through treatment, blood thinners. I'm wearing a compression sleeve daily on my leg. It's the dumbest thing ever. Not knowing, I just don't recommend it. I'm ever getting into a car accident. But by far the worst way to end 2024. I would say 2025. I would say 2026 has started off a lot better than in previous years. But no, that was forever the worst moment, probably of my life, to be honest. So, and that's the end of my awards.
Yeah, that sucks. All right, and then George wanted to end with a rant. The one thing we were going to talk about was the Jim Schwartz situation, but honestly, we could skip it. Everybody knows Jim Schwartz was a goner when he didn't get the job, so he's out. He officially resigned from the Cleveland Browns. They need a new DC. We'll worry about it when it happens. We have all off season to talk about it. So, George, give us your rant, and we are wrapping up.
Well, I've been producing you guys for a couple of years now, and Justin, you definitely go on some pretty interesting rants. And I said, you know what? I'm going to turn around and pop you a tabby, my friend.
Okay.
You go to get one
This
of
is
these
a
bad boys.
win, so I'm excited.
This is tons of fun. And of course, I start off with, of course, the Browns draft rant, which was pretty heavy. Then, of course, the Guardians rant in June before the historical turnaround. Then, of course, you had later on in the season the Sanders rant, and then you laid on one heavy rant for the end of the season. And I tell my guys, I said, if you want to see somebody literally just pop off, you've got to see Justin Schwartz. And I actually, Sam has actually gone back and watched some of them, and he said, "My God, what the heck is?" He just goes to town on these, and I said, "Yes, he does."
I lose my mind. I forget where I'm at in life and in the world, and I just go. I don't see a stop sign. I just go. Whatever comes to my head comes out.
I'm used to these rants, so it's okay.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking at some of them, and I'm like, I don't even remember what I said. That's how often I go on rants. I'm like, what did I even say about the draft? Like, I don't remember. I'll have to go back and listen myself.
I gotta bounce. I'm so sorry. I gotta get going.
See, Kyle, no, you're good. I'll hear my winner here, and then we'll wrap up. But see you, Kyle.
Your winner is the Sitter Sanders rant, my friend.
Thank you. Couldn't have done without you.
I mean, that one, I thought you were turning red. There were blood vessels about to just explode, and you were just so fed up. And when this was coming about to do these, and I'm sitting here, and you're like, all right, what do you want to turn around and I can throw a few, and I'm going, oh, I've got one I've been waiting to do. So I have totally been waiting to turn around and actually give you, sir.
I'm happy to accept my first tabby. Thank you on behalf of George, on behalf of Shedeur Sanders. I thank you. It's my first time winning an award. I'm very happy about that. My first tabby. So congratulations to me, and thank you to George for the nomination. I appreciate that.
No problem at all, my friend. No problem at all. They are very entertaining, and I can't wait to see the rants for this year.
There will be a lot coming. The Guardians not spending money is already starting to boil my blood, and pitchers and catchers haven't even reported to training camp yet. They're to spring training yet. So
I mean, it almost sounded like you were about to start another Sanders rant when you were going over about the worst moments, and I'm going, this is why he's getting this.
Yeah, when I want to talk about something, I'm passionate, so I've got a lot of strong beliefs. So that's awesome. Thank you, George. I do appreciate that. That's a funny, fun category. I do like that. So with that, I mean, what a high moment to end on. The best award winner of the night, the best category of the night, in my personal opinion, and perfect timing. We mentioned we were going to wrap up about 8:30, so that's perfect. We did it. Kyle's picking up his wife, and then I've got to go help my wife move some stuff. She bought a new table for work. She was half building it because it won't fit in her car all the way built. So I get to go help her load that into her car so she can take it to work tomorrow when she goes there. So that'll be fun. And then I'm going to sit down and enjoy my evening with watching Fear Factor and maybe a movie. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. George, thank you for setting all this up. The slides were fucking awesome. Another great, successful year of the Tabbies with my tuxedo t-shirt. I bust this out once a year. I literally wear it one time a year, and it goes right back in the bin under my bed. And it's for today. So successful Tabbies. Had a great time. Again, George, can't thank you enough. You killed it with these slides, and the setup and the way it looks is awesome. It's exactly you. You have my vision. You know what I like. So everything you do looks exactly how I would want it to look. So that's perfect. And with that said, George, if you have anything else?
No.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Cleveland, that was for you.